The last film in the cult spaghetti western set from cult films is A Bullet for the General, which came out in 1967, directed by Damiano Damiani, and this feels very akin to a lot of the Sergio Leone westerns. It feels as if there's a kind of measured hand behind this, and the more I see of Damiani, the more I like the way he constructs his films. In this one here, we have a group of Mexican bandits led by Chuncho, played by Jean Maria Valente, who is always terrific, and he is attacking a train. There is a bit of a standoff. There are some brutal sequences in this opening, which is really exciting and just lets you know what you're into with the movie. And eventually he finds help in the form of Bill Tate, a young man played by Lou Castel, who on the train helps him out with this heist because they're after weapons. Bill, being a fugitive from the American law, decides to run away with these banditos and help them on their plight, bringing with it a kind of different view to the crimes that they are committing. And you kind of see throughout the film the relationship between Chuncho and Bill grow as they kind of appreciate each other.
What's wrong now? You afraid you won't be able to find a girl for yourself in San Miguel?
Definitely from different worlds, and you see that throughout it, whereas Chuncho is always kind of dirty, he's always kind of haphazard, grabbing food where he can, taking what he can when he can, just moving forward, almost just basically surviving. And the counterpoint of Bill, who's always in his suit, who always looks clean and smart, well shaved. It's a complete different ideology with these two characters, but they've just somehow came together and like each other for the most part. And we keen to watch these guys as they move through the landscape, gathering guns, which Chuncho is going to sell to the general, a man who is looking for as much weapons, is fighting back against the tyranny that he feels his people are put under. And you kind of watch these characters go through the motions.
What is we song a machine gun thing?
Now the story, it has a lot more to it than what I've just laid out, and I don't really want to go into it because I found it to be a wonderful surprise as I spent time in these beautiful landscapes, these wonderfully barren situations with these characters that just felt very dangerous and unnerving. It seems as though everybody is duplicitous in one way or another. They're all hiding something or doing something. And it's wonderful that Damiani focuses the story on these two characters because they jump off the screen. They are just absolutely wonderful together, and I love Volante's almost naiveness of just accepting this outsider and just becoming firm friends with him. Bill, on the other hand, is more guarded, more caged throughout it, and it's a good performance by Castel as he kind of shows this almost naiveness, innocence, but there is a kind of hidden expertise under the surface there. He can handle himself. He's a little bit smarter than you would expect, and it kind of leads to some interesting conversations between the two.
How about that, Nino? Do you think we can trust you forever?
If you weren't sure of that, why'd you shoot the handcuffs off me?
There are plenty of action set pieces in this. There are plenty of wonderfully set up and played out situations in this one, like the train heist at the start. There's a wonderful idea of the law down there, how it is respected, and how they use it to kind of stop the train and its tracks as they try to get all the weapons off of it. I don't want to really spoil it because it's a wonderful sequence that just keeps building the tension throughout, and that's what this movie does. It has a great knack of ebbing and flowing like the ocean. It builds up the tension, it'll let you down for a little bit, then it slowly starts to build up again, creating these waves of intense sequences that come throughout the film, right up until that fitting, disappointing, wonderful ending, which again I won't talk about. I like it and I don't like it, and that's one of those things that I don't want to go into too much just now because I feel it's a conversation to have at a later time, but I feel it's fitting for the film, but I wanted a different ending because I enjoyed the character so much. Damiani, he handles this expertly well. When I said at the start, it feels like a Leone movie. It feels measured, controlled, well thought out, with a keen eye on what to highlight to the viewer, and I feel it's accomplished incredibly well here.
Stop that! Leave that man alone! But he is dangerous. He was carrying a pistol. So what? He's my friend.
I would love to know your thoughts of A Bullet for the General, so please let me know in the comment box whether you loved it, hated it, fell somewhere in the middle for this one. This is an essential own. If you haven't seen any of these spaghetti westerns, you are in for a treat. You've got 3 very different here and 3 wonderful, fantastic movies that I cannot rave about highly enough. It's a great set and a great way to start January, so get your hands on it as soon as possible and enjoy the heck out of this one. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to the Patreon membership program and manvfilm.com, always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.